Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my Q&A session on real estate investing this morning. I swear I'll get more comfortable with these as I go along. I am also just waking up, so I don't know if this is a good time for everybody. But, and also I'm not even sure if this video is sideways, so I might have to check and see. And just bear with me for my technical difficulties. Now is a good time. Yes, we are sideways. So let me just make it right this time. See if this will work better. Technical difficulties as always in my various offices of space here. So here we go. That should be better. Anyways, there's a little bit of a delay. But if you have questions, now is a good time to ask them. If you don't have questions, I actually have a whole bunch of questions prepared. I'm going to be here for about 20 minutes to talk to you. If we have more questions, I'm going to answer more questions. So let's just get started. And my very first question, I'm just going to stop at the top of my comments because I've had so many comments. And honestly, I'm having a hard time actually catching up with everybody's questions. So the first question is, which from one of my YouTube subscribers is, after a tax sale, do you need an attorney? Not really sure what the question refers to. It also depends on what state you're in. If you're in a state where you have to do additional steps to make the property yours, then you would have to get an attorney to bar the redemption rights of the original owner. If you don't have, if you're in a state where the foreclosure or the barment is actually automatic, then you don't need an attorney. For example, let me just give you an example. I'm always better with examples. In the state of Georgia where I live, obviously, once the redemption period is up on a tax sale foreclosure, you have to hire an attorney to bar the redemption rights, which means you basically have to get them to foreclose on their right to redeem, which is a process that takes about 6 weeks. I've done this several times. They basically just advertise in the paper. And I'm not sure, am I looking at the camera? Yes. The attorney basically puts an ad in the paper and informs everybody that's interested or could possibly be interested in the property to go ahead and voice their concerns or make their claim or whatever to the property. And if nobody, and they actually have a sheriff that goes out and delivers these papers and these notices to the anybody that might be interested in the property, and a sheriff delivers those. All of this actually takes a lot of time and money. Actually, it's not that much money, but it takes about it has to be advertised in the paper for 4 weeks, and then there's a couple more weeks of slack time in between and after to get the paperwork ready and to accumulate all the results and get all the stuff filed at the courthouse and everything. All in all, the times that I've done it, it takes anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks. So, and you do have to pay an attorney, and I've used several attorneys for this. A couple of them cost me around $600, and the better ones cost a little bit more. But you can get a discount attorney to do this work for you, especially if you have several properties, and basically just call them and say, hey, I have all these properties, go ahead and do bar redemption on all of these at the same time, and then after you're done, give me the price, because I want a volume discount basically. And most attorneys will do that for you because they want your business, they want to continue working with you. And the better ones will be very nice and explain the process to you, or anything that they find, or any kind of pitfalls. And they'll give you information on the title search and what they found in the title search and how they even did that. And then if you have an attorney, like a chief attorney, that does this a lot and isn't really involved, you might actually never even get to talk to the attorney. You might get to talk to their assistant or their legal assistant. So, that being said, you do need an attorney in the states where you have to do additional steps to make the property yours. Now, another state, for example, South Carolina, you do not need to have an attorney because the barring of redemption is automatic, but you do have to basically file a claim with the county tax commissioner or whoever conducted the sale, and basically ask them after redemption period to review the records again. Usually it's the county attorney, and then to file a deed in your name for that county for that property. So you don't need to hire another attorney in those states, and it's obviously a lot cheaper because you don't have to pay for anybody. But it just depends on what state you're in and whether or not you need an attorney. So I hope that makes sense. Moving on to the next question. So I have a question from Janelle Griffith. Asked me 2 days ago, Julia, can you make a video on traditional wholesaling and wholesaling homes? Let's see. Yes, I can make a video on traditional wholesaling and wholesaling homes. But I can also talk about it because there's not actually much to it. Basically, what does actually wholesaling mean? That's just, I mean, it means different things to different people. If you go to a website and you purchase something and they advertise wholesale, usually that kind of corresponds to getting a cheaper price. But what the deal is, the wholesaler actually sells a product to another person who's not going to be the end user, and the second person is going to do something with it. In terms of real estate, that just means that if you have a piece of property and you want to wholesale it, you just wholesale it to another investor. That's kind of how I look at it. And the other investor then will go ahead and flip it or fix it or make it a rental, or they use it themselves or whatever. But basically, that's all that it means. To me, sometimes actually it means to just sell the whole entire problem, like the whole entire problem house that has like issues with it, just sell the whole thing all at once. And I've done that several times. It's not really hard to do. It's basically just like any other sale. You need to advertise it. You have to do full disclosure on any real estate that you sell, so anything that you know is wrong with it, you disclose it. In terms of tax sale foreclosure, of course, the biggest thing that people are going to look at is the condition of the house, as well as whether or not the title is marketable. It's a good title. So if the title is not marketable or has any kind of flaws with it, such as a property that you got at a tax sale foreclosure where there might be some future claims on the property by whoever, maybe some long lost heirs that appear after a while, you just disclose that and you tell that to the buyers. And what I have done in terms of wholesaling, I try to wholesale properties with the mindset that I need to pay a realtor to market it for me. And by the way, don't ever try to go around using realtors. I mean, there's ways for you to obviously advertise properties for sale on your own without using the realtor, without paying them their 6% fee. But I advise against that because realtors have a wealth of information. They have a huge network, and it just takes a lot of effort off your back and your shoulder. And I'm getting a question, so I'm gonna hold on just a second. No question yet, so I'm going to keep talking. So basically, use a realtor when you can. You can just sell a property really quick that way. The last time I used a realtor for one of my wholesale properties, and it was a fixer-upper that I sold, I basically put it on the market, and 2 days later I had a signed offer. And we closed within 2 weeks. It was a cash sale. If I hadn't listed it, it'd probably still be advertised on Craigslist or whatever. So there's not really much else to say about wholesaling and wholesaling homes other than you just sell them with the disclosure that it's a tax sale foreclosure, and you have some issues with the title. The title isn't perfected yet, so they would have to do a quiet title action to make it a good title, or else they would have to just wait the period until the title perfects itself. And that's pretty much all there is to wholesaling. There isn't really much else to say about that. But I will make another video on this. I'm not sure exactly what this person means by traditional wholesaling. But I use realtors just because I don't like selling, and I don't really want to deal with the sales process. I kind of just buy them, see if they're a good deal, and then I try to find somebody else to sell it for me. So I keep looking at my computer here to see what my next question here is. And it is morning for me. This is not usually my time to be awake, so I have to have my coffee, my Playboy Bunny coffee. By the way, you get all kinds of really cool stuff when you own vacation rentals. This is one of the mugs that was left in my vacation rentals. So this is my mug now, I guess. So I'm going to keep it and use it. So the next question is from somebody in India. And this person is actually asking me a question not really specifically about real estate, but more about how to get into the drama hype business like me. I'm not really sure what drama hype business is. But I think what he means is how to get into selling your knowledge online, or basically marketing your knowledge online. And there is actually a really big sorry about that. There's actually a really big art to all of this, and I had to learn this the hard way from the experts in the field. So one of my goals, I have about 8 audiobooks right now that are in the queue to be produced in the next year or so, and pending my time, of course, because I travel a lot, so I don't always have time to do what I want to do. But I have 8 audiobooks that are in the queue right now, and one of the audiobooks is how to market your knowledge online. Obviously, I have a bunch of experience with that. I also have access to people that do this, or have done this for decades, so they know all the ins and outs, anything from marketing, creating products, how to publish yourself online, how to create a persona, how to get conversions, how to develop websites that are catching advertisements, and how to build basically your own personal knowledge database of what you know. And obviously, you know, once you start doing it, you get better and better at it, and it'll come really easy. So we have still no questions, so you guys are not very you're shy this morning, and I am actually usually the one that's shy. So alright, so let's keep going. So yes, I'm going to be producing a book that's going to be called How to Market Your Knowledge Online. Actually, I have it all thought out already. I just need to actually sit down in the recording studio and record it, and that's going to be one of my next tasks when I get some time. Let's see, what else? Let me just read this next question because it's kind of lengthy, and it was left about 3 days ago. Hi Julia, I appreciate the feedback. I'm looking to get into foreclosures and tax deeds and liens specifically. My funds are limited, that's why I don't have your audiobook. Just trying to learn as much as I can with research. I enjoy your videos and the content is helpful, and I need more. I live in Georgia and would like for you to mentor me. If that does not seem weird again, thanks a lot, and thanks for responding. Okay, I'm going to respond to this. So you can actually learn a lot online for free. You can watch all of my videos. At the moment, I think there's about 400 videos actually marked. I crossed the 400 mark the other night, so I'm very proud of that. It took a lot of work and a lot of effort, and so you can learn a lot with watching videos, and also going to other people's videos and asking the other people questions. I'm not sure how good other people are in answering questions. I try to get to your comments as best as I can with these live videos now. If I can't get to them right away, I usually either make a video about it in the future, or else I incorporate the answer in a future audiobook. I'm actually working on a second audiobook on tax sale foreclosures. It's about 75% done, so we're still working on it. I'm still going through all the pieces. I have a lot of interruptions in my life, so it doesn't go very smooth sometimes, and trying to put your mind to it is a challenge more than actually putting the information down. So, but what I wanted to say is when you go and get little pieces from here and there, a YouTube video here or some sort of other, I guess, information from other people that put stuff online there, you're getting everybody's opinions, and so you kind of have to piece everything together and make yourself a picture and build your own strategy. However, if you buy an audiobook now, you're going to have the beginning to end thing from one specific person. So for example, if you go on my website and purchase my book on tax sale foreclosure investing, you're going to see the whole picture of how I do it. And there's not going to be any gaps or any kind of non-continuity things. So if you watch a video, for example, on how to do a good title search, and then you watch another one of my videos that talks about redemption answering questions on redemption periods and stuff, that's not really going to help you very much, because you're not going to know which one to do first, which one to do second, what to look out for. You kind of need the whole picture from beginning to end. So it's really useful to purchase my audiobook on tax sale foreclosures if that's what you're interested in. And the good thing about it is, if you go to my website, it's juliamspencer.com, you can subscribe there. It's just going to ask you for your name and email. You get a message in your email box, and it's going to have coupons in it. So my audiobooks actually aren't really that expensive at all. I mean, it's kind of like the same as a bagel and a coffee. If you go through my messages, you're going to get some really good coupons. So you really shouldn't miss that. At least you have then the whole picture. Also, I'm going to try to do these live sessions with questions and answers weekly. I'm going to try to do it weekly anyways. Depends on the interest and everything. And I'm going to answer your questions and see if you come up with some really good ones, and you don't even have to pay additional money. Now, I had some phone sessions on my website, and several people of you have taken advantage to purchase my consulting work. In fact, my platinum packages, which go for the whole year, and two right now that I'm still consulting, have taken advantage of that. That's actually really good, because I can get on the phone with you and actually talk to you about your specific situation, and discuss with you the money that you want to spend and how you want to spend it. And it looks like one of them is watching right now, I think, so that's cool. But I'm going to try to get a little bit away from that, because I can't take so many people on to consult at one time. It's time-wise, it's just not possible for me. But if you do contact me, I can still make accommodations to get on the phone with you and talk to you. So, in answering this question right here, this person didn't buy my audiobook. They're trying to get research on YouTube done and try to see if they can get information and have me mentor them. Yes, I can do that. You have to contact me, be a little bit patient. We're actually in summer break, so my kids are not in school, so I have to kind of squeeze in my time of talking to people in between. But I will definitely get back with you. It might take a week or two, or just send me an email. My email is real estate. Okay, I gotta drink some coffee here. Anyway, my email is realestate@juliamspencer.com. Send me a message. It goes directly to all my phones, so I'll know immediately if you emailed me, and we'll go from there. The next question, actually, the same person had was, what type of low-cost properties should I invest in to make money as a beginner investor? And my answer to that is really low-cost properties is kind of relative. So you want to, if you want to leverage your money and try to spread it in as many places as possible to make the most return, you will go to the states that have lien sales and not deed states. From experience and what I've seen and what I've learned and what I know, states where they sell deeds, it's usually the prices in those auctions are much higher than the lien auctions. So even though you get to keep the property right away and there's no redemption period, you will spend more money. And although they say that in deed states there's no redemption period, you purchase the property at an auction, it's automatically yours, they record the deed in your name, and you go on happily ever after with the property. Ideally, and this is what I've learned from very seasoned gray-beard investors that have been doing this since I was still a little girl, they basically said that even in the deed state, if you purchase the property, you have the deed in hand, you should still wait about a year to make sure that everything is good before you sell it or do anything to it. That year basically gives you the time for any original owners or the county or anybody else that's involved in this entire transaction to come forward and voice any kind of errors that may have been made during the sale. So you don't then automatically use your property. And I'm going to give you an example here because this is a really cool example, and I think one of my listeners actually knows this as well. But when I recently spoke to one of my colleagues, he basically said that he purchased some land one time, and I believe he said it was in Montana. I can't remember the name of the state, but it was near a river, so it was waterfront property essentially. It was a piece of land. It was not improved property, and what happened is during the course of his ownership, or within the year that he purchased the property, the river actually shifted, which happens. It's a geological, natural thing, but the river shifted. And there was a law in that particular state that you could not build any kind of real estate on that piece of land if it was within a certain amount of feet from the actual riverfront. Hopefully my children aren't going to come to disturb us here, but we're good to go. But anyways, so the river shifted, the land shifted, which means that now a piece of land where you could actually build a building on has now shifted, and you can't build within a certain amount of feet from the river according to some laws that they had in that particular state. So that particular investor then had to go back to the county and basically file for a sale in error form. There's like a sale in error form that they had to file, and they basically got their money back because it was not a usable lot. It was not a piece of real estate that you could sell or anything like that. So those are the kinds of things that you need to watch out for in a deed state. But if you want to get into low-cost properties, I would definitely recommend to look at the lien sales. There's some really good lien sales going on in Florida. Usually they're online. You don't have to travel there. I teach in some of my videos, and actually my newest audiobook has several modules on due diligence. I use a 6-step process for due diligence and all the different steps that I go to research a property, whether it's improved or if it's land. So definitely subscribe to my website. As soon as my newest audiobook is out, I'm going to send a broadcast message to all my subscribers, and you're going to know when you can purchase that particular audiobook that's going to describe that process. So low-cost properties, network, and get into the lien sales. That's my recommendation. So here I have another question, and this is somebody that's commenting on my videos a lot. So this is not actually real estate related, but I'm going to just give that information. I'm going to just read it. I like always loving your videos. Just curious, are you or is your ethnic background of Hungarian or neighboring countries? So I've actually made several videos about my background and my qualifications and my education. And I am actually from Russia. I'm 100% Russian. Both of my parents are Russians. I grew up in Germany, and been in the United States for a really, really long time. This is my country of choice and my love. I love living here. I could not think of any better place to live than right here in the United States. It's still the land of unlimited opportunities as far as I'm concerned. So Hungarian is close to Russia, but not quite. So that answers that question. And let's see if we have any additional ones. I love the good feedback, by the way. It's very encouraging to see messages where people actually really like the content and get into this, and I'm very flattered and encouraged by you really giving me this feedback, because that just drives me to do better and get better. And by the way, any constructive criticism that you have about my videos, about my audiobooks, about anything I say, please send it to me. I'm actually really good with criticism. In fact, I was recently at an auction in Las Vegas. I've met one of my very first mentors, and one of the ways that he introduced me to somebody else was he actually said, "This woman can take criticism so well." And I always thought that I don't like criticism, but actually, I actually do. So I guess if it's constructive and it's positive and it drives me to do better, then that's really what I want. Another person asked me what state I'm located in. I think this was on a video that I've published probably about 2 or 3 years ago. And it was a video that I made on a tax sale foreclosure I purchased in the state of Georgia. Now, most of my properties are in and around Georgia because this is where I live, but I actually own property in Florida as well. I purchased some liens there last year, and I am trying to get into the Las Vegas, Nevada market as well, and South Carolina. So those are the states that I mostly am in. But since I live in Georgia, and when I travel, I actually just like to travel. I don't have much else in faraway states, but I do know how to do tax sale foreclosures in every state. I know the rules, and if there's anything small that I don't understand, I know how to get the information for you. So whatever state you're in, I know people I've researched. Let me just tell you some of the states that I've researched, because this is where people have contacted me. We have Washington State, Arizona, Nevada, obviously California, New York, South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, Alabama, Illinois. So all these states I've researched in very great detail. So you can contact me on any of those states or more. And by the way, my newest audiobook on tax sale foreclosures will also have modules on some of these new states that I've researched. I'm going to try to expand that and add information as I go. So recently I also got another question. We're going to cut this off here soon because we're right about half an hour. And the reason I'm saying that is because I've actually made a live video for about an hour previously, and that's when Facebook just kicks you off because it's too long. And they just don't even save the video, and I don't want that to happen, because I actually want to save this and put this out for you to watch in the future and put it on YouTube, because I think the information is useful. But I recently posted a video of a piece of land that I purchased in Chatham County here in Savannah, where I live in Georgia. And my question that I had is from a subscriber. You say you bought this lot. Is that the same as you paid the back taxes for $900? So my answer to that question was, and I actually answered it right there on YouTube as well, but Georgia is a lien state technically, even though it operates like a hybrid state, because you actually get a deed upon purchasing the lien. You get a sheriff's deed, but the purchase is subject to a redemption period. So technically I didn't buy the lot, I bought the lien. However, if nobody comes after it for a year and I borrow redemption rights, then I essentially own it. So there are actual actions that I have to take in the state of Georgia to make it mine. In other states it's different. This kind of goes piggyback on the first question I answered in this video. So and the same question, the same person actually asked me if I have any videos of an actual tax deed foreclosure sale. And yes, there is a video on my YouTube channel of an actual tax deed foreclosure sale, and It was actually very short, and somebody else recorded it. I wasn't the one recording it, so it was only about 2 minutes long. But in that video, you can see where I purchased a property. That property was adjacent to another property I already owned, and also there's a video on the property that I bought on that tax sale. I actually drove there and made a video right in front of it also. And that particular property I paid a little bit over $2,000 for, and people ended up redeeming, so I did make 20% on it. I didn't get to keep that particular property. But it kind of shows you the whole process, me going to the auction, bidding, signing the paper, then paying for it, driving to the property, looking at it, and making the video there. And of course now you know that I didn't get to keep that property, but I did lose my money. I made 20% on that particular transaction. So, and with that being said, we are right at about half an hour. I am going to make sure I can run these videos however long you want me to. I didn't get any additional questions, so I'm going to just remain here with these few, and I'm going to try to do this a weekly thing. I get questions every day on my YouTube channel. I get messages sent to me in my email almost every day. So this is my way of actually trying to answer them a little bit more quickly, because I feel like I'm falling behind with all the other stuff that I have to do. Anyways, and I hope you enjoyed my video. Don't forget to go to my website, juliamspencer.com. Subscribe to my newsletter there, and I hope to see you investing very successfully soon. Bring me your questions, criticisms, comments, feedback. All of that is appreciated, and I will get back with you as soon as I can. And now I hope you have a great day. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my coffee. Bye.
For your free guide to real estate investing, visit juliamspencer.com.